Hi guys, I'm Riz. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're making chicken dum biryani. Let's get cracking. Heat down, 400 ml of sunflower oil. Over here, I've got 8 onions finely chopped. We'll go straight in with those. We're gonna fry those onions until they're nice and crisp. We are frying this time. So all we're starting with is onions in sunflower oil, lid on. Step 2. I've got here on the bone 2 kg baby chickens. Let me just run through the spices. I've got fresh lemon, I've got red chili powder, 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of turmeric, 4 tablespoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of ginger, freshly ground, 4 tablespoons of garlic, freshly ground, 12 bullet chilies, handful of fresh coriander, large pinch of fresh mint, handful of dry plum seeds, and 500 ml of yogurt. So here we go. Here's my chicken. I'm going to start with the salt, followed by fresh lemon, fresh ginger garlic paste, a tablespoon of red chili, a tablespoon of turmeric, plum seeds, 12 bullet chilies. Now we're going with the coriander and the mint. As simple as that. Finally, our yogurt, 500 ml. Straight on top, as easy as that. Spices in, yogurt's in. All I'm doing at this stage is giving it a good mix. We're just marinating this. The idea here is you can marinate this for an hour or 24 hours, whatever's easier for you. If you find making biryani daunting, you can marinate this, put it aside, step 1 out of the way, makes life easier tomorrow. So if you want to marinate on a Friday and cook for a Saturday, it's not an issue. After giving it a good mix, not even a mix, a massage. Give it a good massage. Once you're done with it, whether it be 1 hour or 24, it needs to go in the fridge. So, onions cooking in steam, in dum. The dum starts from the beginning. Okay, dum in English means cooking in steam. We start from step 1. There we go. Chicken's in the fridge for 1 hour. We're making a biryani masala now. Okay, very important. It's all fresh ingredients. Okay, nothing from a packet, nothing pre-packed. These are all fresh, no preservatives. We're gonna roast these. So what we've got here is fresh coriander, 2 tablespoons. I've got nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon. It's very strong. 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds, 1 2-inch stick of cinnamon, 1 bay leaf, about 6 green cardamoms, 1/2 teaspoon of black cardamom, 1 mace, fresh. I've got 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns, a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds, and a teaspoon of clove. We're now dry roasting for about 5 minutes our spices, okay? Onions have been going about 5 minutes now in steam. Like I said, the dum starts here. Everybody does a dum biryani, they start the dum from the rice. Not me, we start from dum step 1. Onions are steaming nicely, frying away. We want to keep the lid on as much as possible. That's the whole idea here. You're probably thinking, how do you know when that's ready? You'll smell it, okay? You'll smell the spices, you'll smell the aromas coming through. Our spices are ready. You can make this, those are the proportions that we need to use, those are the ratios that I showed you earlier. Keep it for another time. Spices in, nice and hot, straight into the blender. I'll use a coffee blender because I can get it nice and fine. It's still steaming, still hot. The backbone of our biryani, that's the Da Vinci Code of our biryani. Magic. Okay, guys, check up on those onions. Like I said, I've got the heat low. This is not about me making a biryani, this is about me teaching you how to make a biryani. You're probably wondering what's lying here. I've got here 4 potatoes that I boiled in about a tablespoon of salt and then deep fried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eggs. I think the kids had a couple. A pinch of coriander, pinch of mint. I'll explain why I've got this later, okay? And over here, we have food coloring, all natural, okay, from cranberries. I don't believe in artificial colors. Butter. And over here, we've got 1 kg of rice. Very important, remember this equation. 2 kg of chicken, 1 kg of rice. Whenever you're making biryani, ratio of 2 to 1, meat to rice, you can never go wrong. Finally, over here, I've got some cloves, 1 bay leaf, and 5 tablespoons of salt, which is gonna go in water for that 1 kg of rice. I'll explain that bit later. Okay guys, the next stage, important, it's time for us to cook our 1 kg rice. I've got the pan about half full. At this stage, it's 5 tablespoons of salt, a nice pinch of cloves, and 1 bay leaf straight into the water. Ratio of water to rice, it doesn't matter, okay? I've got half a pan of water here, cloves in, bay leaf in, 5 tablespoons of salt, 1 kg of rice. There's no ratio to biryani. I've gone with half a pan of water, okay? 1 kg of rice. At this stage, I'm just waiting for that water to boil. Just a quick reference point, we're all being taught a ratio from rice to water, not the case. Just remember this, as a reference point, ratio, you need 3 times the water to rice, that's all that matters. When that water starts boiling, I need to have enough water in there for this rice to be able to swim. I'll explain later on, but I want that rice to come up, but only once that water starts boiling. Right, we're reaching that nice, crisp, golden moment with the onions now. If I'm normally cooking a curry, I'd say we're there. In this case, we want to fry those onions, but we have to cook them in dum. As you know, in steam. Lid needs to stay on, okay? We're 1 hour in. Check this out, guys. That's the color we want. Crispy golden, like golden syrup. Not black, because what will happen is, if your onion goes black, your masala is gonna go black. You want it crispy golden, sun-kissed. Right, at this stage, I'm gonna take out half of my onion. There we go. Remember guys, starting with 8 onions. When you fry onions, that's what's left. I'm gonna put this to the side and I'll explain why later. The heat is now off, has to be off. 1 tablespoon black zira in the pot. The oil is still hot, it's still cooking, heat's off. Dum biryani, cooking in steam, heat off, that's on. Catch the aromas. You're probably wondering why heat off. That's a Shahi Zira, black cumin seeds. Very fine, very thin, okay? Not your regular cumin seeds. Heat on and you'll burn them. If I burn them, they'll go sour. That's the end of your biryani. Back to our chicken. Been marinating for an hour. If I had my way, if I had guests around, my friends are here now, okay? But I'd leave it for 24 hours. But you could make it easier. You can make this marinade in the fridge 24 hours and then you've got step 2 and 3. You're done, okay? Simplify it. But over here right now, as you can see, the marinade, 1 hour in, the longer you keep it marinated, the more flavoursome it will become. Onions, black zira, heat off, we go in with our marinade. I'm gonna use that hot oil and that black zira with those onions just to infuse with that chicken. Only for a minute or so. This makes all the difference. It's time consuming. If you're in a rush, get a takeaway. Heat on, medium heat. As I showed you earlier, that there is our first layer for the biryani. This is the pot we're sticking with, okay? So everything from here on, add it here. You're probably wondering right now why I have not put the biryani masala in, okay? I'm gonna add that once we're 50% through the chicken cooked. Still, at this point, very raw, okay? Very raw, but the point is the salt is getting through. Very important, and all the spices, all the flavors. We don't want to fry the chicken. We want to cook that chicken without it infusing with all the salt and all the spices that we've put in there. You're probably wondering why I fried the onions. Reason is we cannot add onions to the dum. We need to fry them, get them in steam alone so we can get that crispiness, that crispy texture right there. Almost like a honeycomb effect. Okay, so our water's been boiling 25 minutes. There we go. That's about ready now for the rice. Okay, so at this point, with our heat, it's running at 20%. I'm gonna increase that to 50%. There we go, okay? Back on the heat, top on, steam on, dum on. I don't wanna cook my chicken more than 90%, okay? I don't wanna cook my rice more than 90%. Water's boiling, this stage, 1 kg rice. I've drained the water out, and it goes into the boiling water. We don't need the lid anymore. At this stage, we're waiting for that rice to rise. We know we're getting somewhere, it's cooking how we want it to. We don't want too much oil in the biryani, it gets too greasy. That's not the point, okay? It's a dum biryani, but if you feel like you've got too much oil, don't worry about it, we can adjust that later on. But right now, if your pot looks similar to this, you're heading in the right direction. It's not ready yet, it's 50% cooked. At this stage, the biryani masala. It needs to go in 50% of the way, reason being, we want to retain those flavors. So at this point, I'm going to go with 1 heaped tablespoon of my freshly ground biryani masala. Actually, make it 1.5, okay? We're going to save half of it for later on. Our water's forming nicely over here. It was boiling earlier. When you put the rice in, it's going to stop boiling, don't panic. Okay, it's only boiling, that water's going at 100 degrees. When you put that cold rice in, after you've drained it, it's going to drop to about 80 degrees. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to catch back up again. As those white grains start disappearing within that rice, we have an idea we're nearly there. Again, if you're not sure, taste it. Dry methi, 1 tablespoon, fenugreek leaves. The reason for that is the aroma. Look at that. What did I say? It will swim freely. There you go. Lift the grain out, okay? Very important. If you're not sure, just bounce it. There you go. We take it off the heat, we strain it straight away. We're gonna let that sit there for 5 minutes. As I said, when the meat starts coming away from the bone, we're 90% of the way there. I deliberately added extra oil for those who are not sure who may get nervous. What I'm gonna do, switch the heat off. I'm gonna angle the pan. I'm gonna push all my chicken and all the masala to the top of the pan. Absolutely crucial, okay? This is not fancy, this is no frills. These are the secrets behind making a nice chicken dum biryani. The laws of gravity are gonna bring the oil down, okay? Keep the chicken dum masala up. Just for 3 minutes. At this point, we lift up any excess oil. I want to retain about 1/4 of that glass. I'll tell you why in just a second. You can see that I've taken out 90% of the oil. I've kept 25%. Give my pot a little shake. A lot of people add saffron, loads of different flavors and colorings or whatever. What I'm doing here is I'm recycling my oil, which holds all the flavor that we began with, okay? Go with a bit of color. About 30 mils. That's the base of our biryani. Okay. Our rice on top of the chicken to form that layer. I've kept 25% of that pot empty, and I will explain. The rest of our biryani masala we go on with 4 potatoes straight on as a layer. Our eggs, that's the remainder of the onions that we started with. Coriander, 200 grams, butter, just gonna break that up. 20-25 gram clumps. 1/4 glass of oil without food coloring, which we're just gonna gently sprinkle over. This is the final step to our biryani. Heat down to a minimum, okay? I'm using what I know as a tawa here, that we normally make chapatis with, and I'm gonna place this biryani on top. The heat's gonna come upwards, the steam's gonna create that flavor through that rice. Guys, I know you're wondering, for the last 2.5 hours, what this is for, okay? Come along and I'll show you. I'm gonna create swirls with this. What that's gonna do is, as I go through the layer and screw back out again, okay? Here we go. Very important. Down, around, and out. Down, around, and out. Down, around, and out. Very important. Every 2 to 3 inches, okay? Keep doing this. Keep that there, and I'll show why right at the very end. 2 hours and 50 minutes in. Heat off. I take away the tawa. Guys, This is where the magic happens. Hear it sizzle. And the reason why I left that pot empty on that side, here we go. We're done.